the conversation, Ben Taylor, civil rights attorney. Ben, good to have you on as we continue to detail this entire case that's gaining national attention. So first, I would like to get your reaction, and I am going to play some more of this body camera video, warning to our viewers that discretion is advised. But Ben, if you can go ahead and detail some more of this case.
Yeah, no, you see the officer shot Miss Sonya Massey right there in the face. So that's why he's being charged with murder right now. It was a senseless shooting. She wasn't a threat to him. She was in her own house, and your home is your castle. So when you're in your home, you should be able to feel safe and secure. And the fact that this officer pulled out his weapon and shot and killed under the, Miss Massey right there in cold blood is this very a tragic event. And, we understand that, a lot of officers, there are good officers out there, but this officer right here, based upon what you see, is not a good officer. I mean, looking at his past, they found out there's DUIs in his past. He's been moved around to different other police agencies. So it seems like this officer doesn't deserve to wear a badge and be able to serve and protect. I mean, he wasn't trying to serve or protect. He was just angry and just really trying to execute Miss Sonya Massey, it looks like here.
And we're going to speak a little bit more about the deputy, Sean Grayson, a little later on in our conversation. But first, maybe detail to our viewers why Sonya called 911 in the first place, and give us a little background on who she is.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was a welfare check. She felt like somebody was, around her area, and she was scared. So that's why she was calling. So that's what's the sad part about it, is that here you are as a victim yourself, calling because you're scared. You feel like there's some intruder might be trying to break into your home, and you end up being victimized and shot and killed. So she was the one who called, screaming and asking for help, and these officers came. And instead of actually, trying to help her or realizing that, she was a woman who actually called, it's like they were trying to put her under investigation, trying to question her, trying to go inside her house and walk around her place to try to search her. So the fact that she called out for help as a victim and now she ends up being victimized, it's a very tragic event and a case where she should still be alive today.
All right, let's go back to this sheriff's deputy, Sean Grayson, who he is being charged with murder. And we are learning more about his background, being with different law enforcement agencies that he has been employed with. So tell us, what charges is he facing exactly, and what have we learned so far about who Sean Grayson is?
I mean, he's facing murder charges right now. So eventually he'll have his day in court where he go in front of a jury, and the jury can convict him, and he'll be serving many years in prison, and maybe even his rest of his life could be spent in prison for shooting and killing Miss Massey here. So what we're looking at is it's very rare that you see an officer get prosecuted, but in this case, in these circumstances, I mean, I agree with the prosecutor in bringing these charges here because she wasn't a threat. An officer's allowed to use their weapon if they feel threatened. There was no threat here. I mean, she was over by her stove boiling water, and she's the one who calls. So we have no idea why he would pull out his weapon and shoot. But now that's why he's facing murder charges, and he could be facing the rest of his life in prison because of killing Miss Massey.
All right, so clearly the prosecution thinks that they have a strong case. Of course, they have that body camera footage that they are presumably going to be using as they head to trial. Has Grayson's defense said anything regarding this?
I mean, Grayson's defense is gathering all the evidence. I mean, the main evidence is the body camera footage. So once they gather all the evidence, they'll put up a defense, and they might try to say self-defense or fear, or usually what they say in these cases is that the officer feared for his life. He feared that she might have had a weapon. She feared that she might have been attacked. There's been reports saying that he told other officers, and he wrote in his report that he felt that she was going to come towards him. But based on the body camera video, ultimately a jury is going to decide, and a jury and a judge will look at the evidence, look at the reports, and the main evidence is going to be the body camera footage. And thank goodness for body camera footage, because that's what you can rely upon. And once the jury sees that body camera footage, I can predict that a jury will probably find him guilty of murder.
All right, Ben, well, no doubt that this is going to be a case that we're going to be covering for some time going forward. Is there anything that you feel the viewers need to know, maybe people across the country that are keeping watch, or something that we haven't been able to get to here in our conversation?
I mean, ultimately, there was another officer there, and there's other officers on the scene. It's going to be interesting to see coming in the future. Are the other officers going to turn against Grayson and testify against him when his case goes to trial? Is he going to take a plea agreement? Meaning, is he going to plead guilty prior to trial to a lesser charge so that way he can do less time? Because if he goes to trial and is found guilty, it's not going to be good for him, and the judge can sentence him to many years in prison. Like I said earlier, he might be spending the rest of his life in prison. But it's going to be time will tell if more evidence will come out to see what the other officers will say to his defense or not.
All right, Ben Taylor, civil rights attorney, we appreciate your time as we get to the latest regarding this truly tragic case out of Illinois. Thanks for speaking with us. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Corral, for having me on.